The stock market had a pretty good day today as many stocks blasted to the upside. In this video, we're going to be talking about everything you need to know related to the stock market right now, some big news, and what we have going on. We're not going to waste any time. So Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, Mike, like you said, a lot of stocks were blasting up today. I saw Unity was actually up 13%. We had Snowflake up 12%. I know we've also been talking a lot about Chewy a lot lately, Mike. They were up 12.3%. They are blasting up above $30 a share. We've talked about this one a ton over the past couple months. Same thing with Asana. They're coming back up too, back up to $20, which is nice. I noticed Square or Block was also having a really nice breakout today, up above that 62.70 resistance there. A lot of stocks were running up today, Mike. Lots of stocks in the green. As we can see on the heat map here, tech did very well. The semiconductors honestly didn't do too good today. Kind of surprising given that the rest of the market did so well, but even a lot of the retail sector started coming back up. I will say oil was down a little bit along with banks, but yeah, tech did great today, Mike. And yeah, the market had a very nice day overall. The SPY ended up closing up around highs.
Right, there we go. One of the craziest stocks of the day was actually Smith & Wesson. We've talked about this stock more and more over the past couple months. As concerns about, I guess you could say, gun control start to happen, a lot of people end up buying guns because they're scared that they might be banned, and normally this has a pretty positive impact on gun stocks. Smith & Wesson is one of the top gun stocks, and Tom, zoom out a little bit. We can see around a year ago, this stock absolutely blasted to the upside just in an explosive way. I'm zooming out a little bit on my own chart, and this thing went from like $20 or so all the way up to $40 in just a couple weeks. So, you know, when these types of stocks move, they really move, and Smith & Wesson's up 10% today.
Yeah, it is, Mike. It had a really explosive day. It's actually bouncing off of one of my favorite indicators down here too, which is the 1,000 SMA. I know you hear me and Hunter talk about that one a lot, the 1,000 SMA and EMA, but yeah, it's having a good bounce there. Like you said, there was actually earnings tonight too, and the stock is all over the place, but the stock was up a lot today, Mike, as there was some good legislation coming out of New York, which is great. So the Supreme Court struck down a New York law requiring applicants for a license to carry a gun outside of their homes to have proper cause to do so. Obviously, what they mean by proper cause is something like you're a police officer, maybe a firefighter, maybe somebody who like does community work, something like that will give you proper cause, of course. Whereas like a regular citizen caring for protection is not proper cause. As we know, as it says here, the ruling is a major victory for gun rights advocates, which say that New York's law was pretty much restrictive, and overall, it made it a crime pretty much to conceal carry. So overall, this is really good for gun stocks, Mike, and it really helped Smith & Wesson fly up today. Ruger was having a pretty good day today too, but you know, Smith & Wesson had those earnings after hours, so it was really the highlight. Like you said, it was almost up 10% there at close, and look at the high it ran in after hours, up to 15.13. That was a huge pop.
Exactly. So not only did Smith & Wesson pop up because of the news, but they also had earnings just like you said. And honestly, their earnings weren't amazing. So here's the thing. They had an earnings per share of 82 cents, and they were only expected to have an earnings per share of around 69 cents, depending on the analyst. So not bad in terms of EPS. They have around $120 million cash on hand, but where it gets a little bit bad is that they had $181 million in sales for the quarter, which is a 44% decrease from the same quarter last year. But here's the good thing. They were only expected to report quarterly sales of 179.8 million. So it's kind of weird. So it's like they reported a lot less sales or revenue this quarter than they did in the same quarter last year, but they were also expected to do so, and they came in a little bit better than expectations. So that's important to know. And the last thing is Smith & Wesson actually pays a decent dividend. Right now, they're currently paying 8 cents per share per quarter, and they're upping that by 25% to 10 cents per share per quarter. And that's a pretty good yield on a $14 stock.
Yeah, that really is, Mike. I'll tell you, that's like right now. If we look on the stocked up dashboard, you can see Smith and Wesson pays a 2.2 $2 and pretty much a 2.228% dividend yield there. Sorry, I got a little tongue twisted there, but 2.228% on the yield, so that will go up by about 10%. Can't wait to see what that ends up coming in at, Mike. But like you said, the sales were down a lot year over year. But at the same time, keep in mind that we are also, guys, coming off of this pandemic. And as we know, whenever pandemics and stuff like that happen, obviously people flock and they start buying up a ton of guns, ammo, and stuff like that because they think that like anarchy is going to happen or something. So obviously, sales are coming down a little bit compared to over the past year or even like year and a half. But yeah, that I would say, Mike, that is obviously playing a big role, obviously coming off of that pandemic. But hopefully people start buying up more guns, obviously, with that legislation coming up, because as we know, we'll be talking about this more over the next couple months as Congress starts to try to pass more gun control bills.
Yep, we'll see. All right. Well, Tom, what else do we have going on in the market?
Yeah, so it was a pretty eventful day, Mike. So honestly, we had the FDA coming out here banning Juul e-cigarettes. This was pretty bad for some of these tobacco companies today. So I'm looking across the board at like MO, which is Altria, and then Philip Morris, which is PM. And PM was actually up 2.4%, believe it or not. MO was up 2.4% as well, but this is obviously not good news. So Altria has a stake in Juul, which is obviously not good for them. You can see how their stock has just been flying down consistently over the past month. Like this was pretty much like a falling knife here, Mike, with MO. Obviously, there's been a lot of other things coming out lately with nicotine restrictions and stuff like that too. But yeah, just not good for these I guess you could say tobacco companies, Mike. But to be honest, honestly, it's probably better that they're banning this than leaving them on the market. It doesn't sound too good, but they did leave these like Enjoy ones and the British American Tobacco. Both of those companies actually won approvals for their e-cigarettes, believe it or not. But obviously, Juul did not get that type of approval.
Yep, and that's why Altria or MO is tanking down. So keep that in mind. And then, Tom, just looking at the market overall, growth stocks are finally popping back up. We're seeing some green in the markets. Yields are cooling down. Do you have any favorite setups or anything you're watching for tomorrow?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, I think there's a lot of great setups in the market right now. And yesterday I said the same thing. A lot of stocks were really hovering around their highs. I'm really watching this SPY, Mike. I mean, obviously, everyone's been watching the SPY lately as it's been falling off a cliff. But as it's been recovering up this week, we've been seeing some pretty good breakouts intraday, and we're hovering right around that high of yesterday. If we could break out tomorrow up around like 379 and possibly even break out above 380, I think we could see a pretty good pop out of the overall market. And, we're setting up pretty well. We're seeing stocks like Apple close up around highs too. Microsoft's up like we saw in the heat map earlier. And like I said, some of those retail stocks like Costco, Walmart, even growth stocks like Palantir and DraftKings and stocks like them were even up in the green. So we saw a lot of green across the board today. I did see some stocks red, like some of the oil stocks, some of the airlines were also in the red, but nonetheless, the SPY was doing very good, Mike. And as long as big tech keeps ripping, I think we could end up having a really good close of the week tomorrow.
Yeah, there we go. It's been a long time since we had an amazing week in the market. But I saw a lot of people from the previous video were just talking about the SPY, Tom. Just the SPY. What are your thoughts on that in terms of price action, maybe momentum, and some important levels?
Yeah, it seems like SPY's in a bit of a channel here over the past couple days, Mike. Like you can see in pre-market and after hours yesterday, SPY was sitting right around 372 there as a nice support. And then intraday today, we bounced right at 373. I think tomorrow, honestly, if we just watch this channel and we wait for like a move out of it, I think that could make for some pretty good price action with SPY. But with SPY overall, if we look on like the yearly chart, we've been really falling off a cliff. And I would not be surprised if we broke back to the upside a little bit more. I think I could see a pretty safe move up towards like 385. That is a pretty big resistance from that previous consolidation point back in the middle of May. So I'm really going to watch for that move up towards 385. We might not hit 385 tomorrow, but I'll definitely be expecting it, Mike, because, we're seeing a lot of growth out of a lot of stocks lately. Even like China stocks and stuff, we're having a great day again.
Yep. And I also know that Outlaw and a couple other people were looking at AMD, maybe for a potential trade because it's been all over the place. So, what are your thoughts on that one, considering it was down almost 2% on a day where a lot of other stocks popped up?
Yeah, it was insane. AMD was down. We had Nvidia running down too, actually. But going back to AMD, it's really, really close to that $80 support. I think that's going to be a big support here over the next few days with AMD. That was even like the middle of the range back when AMD was consolidating a lot last year. So if we end up falling under 80, Mike, I think AMD could go a little bit lower. And I know you and Hunter have talked about in some of your videos on Saturdays that we could see the market or see AMD and some of these chip stocks end up falling back off. And I would not be surprised. AMD is a little bit overvalued right now. And like you said, it was down on a day where a lot of tech stocks were up in the green. And, most days whenever we see Apple, Microsoft, Square, and even like Teladoc, ChargePoint, stocks like that green, AMD is usually up. But yeah, it really underperformed today. If we break below 80, I'll be pretty worried about it, Mike. That seems like a pretty big support there.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have Asana to the upside.
Yeah, Asana. Go ahead and make them break above $20.50.
Right. With the next one, we have SE also to the upside.
C Limited. Yeah, we've been talking about this one more and more over the past couple months. Go ahead and make them break above 79.
And with the last one, we have good old Intel to the upside.
Intel, yeah, thank God this one's up today whenever all these chip stocks were down. Go ahead and make them break above 37.60.
All right, so we are watching Intel, SE, and Asana for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they pop above the levels Tom listed. And I also want to give a giant shout out to our member of the day, RV, in the Stocked Up Discord. You've been in the chat for a little bit over a year, and you've been pretty active. So huge shout out to RV. Thanks so much for all the support. Tom, overall, I'm very excited for tomorrow. Stocks are blasting up, especially the growth stocks, and it's nice to see, stocks finally bouncing.
Yeah, it really is. We saw stocks really go up across the board. Like I said, only a few stocks were down, like oil stocks. AMD was down, like we talked about a little bit, but really it was a very nice day. We even saw like Amazon up 3.2%. If we look on that 1 year daily chart, Amazon has been getting destroyed lately, Mike, and they made a really nice double bottom right around $100 on their split adjusted price now. Don't forget, guys, Amazon is only $112 now. For everyone who's been waiting for Amazon to go down, hey, you're getting it at a pretty good price point now. Obviously, the split did not affect their valuation, Mike, but that really did bring that stock price down after that 20-to-1 split. What was their stock before? Like $2,400, almost like $3,000 there. And now we're all the way down to 112. So don't sleep on these guys. It looks like they're coming back up here, Mike. And just like across the board, a lot of big stocks like Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft were all up in the green. And we also had the hybrid bot doing awesome with Smith & Wesson today, Mike. I mean, it wasn't a huge pop. It was up like 20%, but there we go. The bot's still continually doing well this week. And over the past couple of weeks, it's really been on fire.
There we go. So if you guys trade options or if you're just looking for other ways to trade the market during these crazy times, our bot is awesome and a lot of people love it. So definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. I know the market is crazy right now and it hurts to see many stocks falling, but a lot of times during these, market points where stocks are all over the place, that's the best time to trade, especially for the short term. So definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. There's really never been a better time to start. You could try out the bot with a coupon for the first month with the link down below. You can cancel at any time, and the bot's been on fire. So definitely check it out. Besides that, don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and let's have a great end to the week.